Well, I think what an awful lot of people are thinking about as well is the economic cost of the war in Iran in terms of energy bills, cost of living, but it's also being felt in global markets too, after strikes across the Middle East triggered a surge in oil and gas prices. So we'll look now at what it could mean for the pockets of people in Britain.
Let's bring in... we've got some data first, sorry. Data shared exclusively with Sky News reveals that energy firms have pulled more than half their fixed deals from the market since the war began on Saturday, leaving just 17 available tariffs.
Uswitch told us the cheapest deal left standing costs £1,640. That's available from Outfox Energy. So that's £131 more expensive than last week. And looking ahead, Cornwall Insight predicts the price cap is going to surge to £1,801 in July. And that's, of course, as the impact of the conflict filters through from wholesale gas prices to consumer bills.
Let's speak to financial educator Abigail Foster, who joins us now. Abigail, great to have you with us again.
Thank you so much.
So I guess the first question is the likelihood that this will really affect people's energy prices. We'll come to fuel prices in a second, but at-home electricity prices, it's not going to be immediate.
No, it's not going to be immediate because we've already had the price cap brought in for the next round. So we are going to see some changes on the 1st of April because of the price cap drop and because of some of the things that were brought in the budget last year mean that even if you're on a standard variable or a fixed, things are going to come down by around 7%. But these are all rough figures. I would say if you are someone that's on a standard variable tariff, please look into the fixed deals before they all kind of match now. I think over the last few weeks, we've seen those fixed deals starting to rise because obviously of the discussion around the Middle East. And then after the last weekend, the fixed deals have started to rise. So yeah, I think it's not going to be immediate, but I think the next price cap we will see another lift because wholesale energy prices are going to rise.
So that's really good advice. Basically move quickly because the good deals that are on the market now might not be for long. Is that the message?
Yes, like the fixed deals, I think there were some really good ones, obviously, in the last few days, and all of the energy companies are starting to realise what's happening and they're realising that the wholesale energy prices are going to go up, and so they're trying to meet that.
Meanwhile, fuel prices, gas prices at petrol stations, they are likely to rise much sooner.
Probably, but just purely because obviously oil prices are very reactive. You know, I think a lot of people said that the market anticipated the Middle East conflict, but oil prices don't necessarily, we don't kind of buy our petrol in bulk. We can't really up for our everyday use. And so therefore, people are going to have to be reactive to this. And so I think we're going to have to see energy prices rise and therefore petrol and diesel prices rise as well. So yeah, I think we'll have a knock-on impact on our car purchases as well.
Yeah, we're looking at the energy price cap rise forecast in our screens now. Wilf, it's hard to tell, isn't it? This is the thing, I guess. Like, is this going to be another Ukraine war that drags on for ages and has a lasting impact, or is this something that could be over much more quickly? Yeah,
listen, I think on the raw commodity price, which then obviously influences all that we're discussing, it's interesting over the last 2 days that, yes, it's still volatile. You know, 1%, 2%, 3% moves in a normal day is a lot.
Yeah.
But we're getting those low single-digit percentage moves, not the nearly 10% move we saw on day one. So I think that is the raw commodity markets, the financial markets saying, OK, we jumped initially, and now the question is, are we still in the state that we're in for weeks to come? If this lasts weeks or months, then I think, you know, oil prices, the raw commodity will ramp again. It's the question as to whether it persists now for many weeks and months.
The other thing I'm thinking about a bit is interest rates, right? Which, you know, matters to people for mortgages. It matters if you've got loans. I mean, could that be something that could change by this as well?
Yes. So the last Bank of England base rate was on the 5th of February when it came down to 3.75. So, and we were starting to see the Bank of England base rate come down, which means hopefully it has a knock-on impact on mortgage rates starting to come down, savings rates also come down. The next rate isn't until the 19th, I think of March. So,
I love your notes, by the way.
No, I know, I was like, I've got all my, thank you.
It's this month. I know, I get confused about it, saying the next month. Oh no, we're into March.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
So
I was like, we missed it. No, the 19th of March is the next, and I think Andrew Bailey, who's the current governor, will talk about the Middle East conflict because it won't be as simple as, right, let's bring it down to 3.5, which I think a lot of people predicted for the beginning of this year, which could have alleviated mortgage rates because they're going to be careful of keeping the inflation figure, which is currently 3%, coming back towards their target of 2%. I think it's going to be almost impossible for them to say nothing But I think it will be more difficult now for them to reduce that base rate because they're going to be dealing with the inflation figure.
Yeah, the market's already moved on that. But before the weekend, 85% expectation you get a rate cut on the 19th of March. It's now down at about 20%. Yeah. And part of the reason
Sorry, it's down to 20% now, so they think it's off the table pretty much.
Basically, it's off the table for this month, which is also because the setup was so tight. The last rate cut only came because of a 5-4 vote. Yeah. So it doesn't take much of that 9-person committee to change their sentiment to then not get a cut. But, not getting a cut is probably a delay as opposed to, we're going to have to hike rates again, which is obviously, again, comes back to what happened in the Ukraine war. We had a huge spike. And, by the way, in gas, led by gas much more than oil, and we're more dependent on gas than we are on oil as a nation. And it persisted. It's still persisting, if we're honest, with that war. So again, I think, we're in as things stand, a very different scale of military conflict in the way that it affects our energy prices. Though obviously it's pretty significant and scary. Yeah.
And it could affect student loans as well, I guess.
Well, in theory, obviously the interest rate on student loans is RPI. For Plan 2, it's RPI up to 3%. We've been here talking about it before. And so, yes, if inflation figures change, if RPI figures change, yes, it could increase the interest on student loans. Well, will increase the interest on student loans. But I think there's a lot of students out there that are just stressed out with the interest as it stands at the moment, let alone it rising.
What's the advice for people if you're listening today, if you're worried about the uncertainty and your personal finances?
So I think when it comes to energy bills, I would say compare tariffs and check fixed deals right now. I think it's something like 60% of homes are on standard variable tariffs. So if your energy bill says something like standard or variable or even flexible, it means you're probably not getting the best rate for your energy right now. So compare, go on to comparison sites, check for your best deal. Obviously, try and be energy efficient. It's kind of hard to say that because I'm sure lots of people are nowadays, but see if there's any energy efficiencies you can see to try and reduce down that bill. And then obviously, I would say as a financial educator, budgeting, being aware, it might be more important now than ever to have something like an emergency fund pot or a savings aside to help you in times like this. It's just so uncertain.
Abigail, as always, thanks so much. Good to see you.